it now being 7 o'clock, the regular meeting of the Orleans Zoning Board of Appeals is called to order. Present and constituting a quorum are myself, Michael P. Marnick, the chair. Members Beth McCartney, William McCarthy, Bruce Taub, Matthew Cole, and Emily Van Giesen. As a preliminary, I don't even know how to express the gratitude I have for everyone who acted in my absence during my sabbatical. I did review the in fairness, in retrospect, and not do it while you were having them, the different issues which came before you, some of which were quite intriguing, and I didn't know the disposition of them, but I will probably look at the decisions and speak with members privately, because I was kind of curious.
I don't think we got sued by anybody while they...
Well, that's a good thing. Did we settle anything? So also present are the building commissioner of the town of Orleans, John Evers, and the board secretary, Sandy Stewart. The
Fishing board secretary with the large coffee, Sandy's.
The agenda is relatively simple for tonight. The first issue is to the minutes of the April 18th board meeting were circulated, and if there is any comment, otherwise we should be moving or entertain a motion to approve those minutes. Mr. McCarthy is a second, Mr. Cole. Is there any discussion on the motion? There isn't any. All those in favor and opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Those minutes may be recorded with our business. Tonight's hearings include two. The first is case number 2082. The second, case number 2083, as you probably know, is the application of the town of Orleans for special permit to raise and replace the administration building and the public restrooms at Skakit Beach. The town meeting voters did not approve the funding for the replacement of the Skakit Beach administration building and restrooms, at least not as the town, at least the article sought some $775,000 for that purpose. Then yesterday, that question remained on the ballot, but I think it was moot.
It was voted down.
It did?
It lost, yeah.
No matter what, I have a letter on the dated May 9th under the signature of John F. Kelly, Town Administrator, withdrawing without prejudice case number 2083, noting that the annual town meeting did not approve the funding, at least for not that kind of money.
Yeah.
So that leaves.
I need a motion to allow the applicant
Move
to
to withdraw without prejudice.
Very well.
Second.
And second, Mr. McCarthy. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and opposed? Then that motion carries unanimously. The case number 2083 goes into the archives, having been withdrawn without prejudice. That leaves case number 2082, which is the application of Jeffrey C. Cavaney for special permit as set forth in General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 6, under Orleans zoning bylaw, Section 16421A, to construct an accessory dwelling resulting in building coverage which exceeds 4,000 square feet. This property is located at 353 South Orleans Road, Orleans, map number 68, parcel number 8-1. Is there any member of the board who has had communication with the applicant or any of the applicant's agents concerning this application? Does any member of the board have any reason, private or public, which would disqualify that member from considering this application? There's no positive response. Therefore, I declare all members of the board are present are indifferent and impartial. Therefore, we have a quorum. The following members will be considering this, following 5 members: myself, Mr. McCarthy, Mr. Cole, Ms. McCartney, and Ms. Van Giesen. You may proceed.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. My name is Stephanie Sequin. I'm an engineer with Ryder and Wilcox, and I'm representing Jeffrey Cavany, who's the owner of the property at 353 South Orleans Road. And we are requesting a special permit to allow building coverage to exceed 4,000 square feet. You may know this property as the Sparrow House on the corner of 28 and Nanapoint Road. There's a 2-story dwelling with a barn connected by a structure. There's also a detached garage on the property. According to the assessor's records, the house was built in 1840, so it does have some age to it. And it's located on a 68,700 square foot residential lot. In 2015, Mr. Cavany bought the property, and he initially, when he bought it, had the idea that he wanted to preserve it and renovate it. It is in a state of disrepair right now. He spent a lot of time meeting with structural engineers, building movers, other experts in renovations, remodeling and whatnot. And after quite some time and some expense, finally came to the conclusion that it was just too far gone to be economically feasible to shore this structure up. So the decision was made that he would like to demolish the building and the connector and part of the barn. The front part of the barn, the 2-story barn, will remain. You may know that as this is a historically significant building, he did file a notice of intent with the Historic Commission, notifying them of his intent to demolish the structure. So that, I believe, was last fall, and now he has to wait a certain amount of time before he can demolish it, but that process is moving forward. So what is being shown here is as I said, the existing dwelling will be torn down. A new dwelling will be constructed in essentially the same spot, but moved a little bit further back from the road to provide a little more privacy and a little screening from the noise on the road. There will be an addition built onto the existing barn, and then the 2 structures will be connected with an open porch structure. The existing detached garage will remain as it is. The overall final project will be fairly similar to what's there now, but as I said, just moved back a little bit further from the road. The resulting coverage on the property, including all the structures, currently is 4,689 square feet and will go up to 4,718 square feet, which is an increase of 39 square feet. And that figure is 6.9% of the total lot area. So it's, even though it's over the 4,000 square feet that triggers the requirement for the special permit, it's well below the 15% that is allowed under the zoning bylaw. So I am hoping that you will agree that this meets the criteria for a special permit that will not be detrimental to the established or future character of the neighborhood. The site is adequate. It's almost 70,000 square feet in the residential district, where only 40,000 square feet is required. The new structure meets all the required lot line setbacks and is well under the allowed percentage of building coverage. The site is suitable for the use. It's been there since 1840 and has done very well there. There will be no impact on traffic flow and safety, no impact on neighborhood visual character. If anything, the building being set back further from the road will have less of an impact on the neighborhood visual character. The adequacy of the method of sewage disposal, source of water and drainage. There is a Title V system on the property now. Mr. Cavaney intends to upgrade that with the new Title V system. There's no change. There's currently 6 bedrooms, and the new building, the new structure will also have 6 bedrooms. The existing utilities and public services are adequate, and there will be no impact on noise and litter. And as far as the impact on groundwater quality, there are no wetlands on the property or within 100 feet of the property. And there's no change in the number of bedrooms or the sewage flow. So I don't believe there will be any impact on groundwater quality. I will be happy to answer any questions.
Oh, yes, okay. I thought that the Historic Commission was plugged into this. What's the status of that process?
The demolition delay has been filed, so it's in, the clock has started, and I believe the 1 year is up in September. So after that period, if no one has come forward to move the building, then he will be able to demolish it. But he has to wait until that time frame is up.
So you won't be able to reconstruct until that time goes by?
Correct. He has gotten permission to, the connector between the house and the barn, he does have permission to knock that down because that's in really bad shape, but the rest of it has to wait until the time is up.
Were there any architectural controls involved by any other commission?
I don't believe so. As far as the new structure?
Sure. I'm just trying to think, are you building a structure that it mimics the existing structure?
It's similar in the fact that you've got the main house on the left, and then the barn with the space on the right, and connected with the roof connecting it. It will continue to have the front porch, the kind of wraparound porch that it has now, but it's not identical, and it's not required to be identical.
All right, I was concerned because I wouldn't have been aware that the house dated to 1840. That's why I was curious whether some other board might be fussy about the architectural detail of a new structure, given that this is present one is being raised.
No.
We don't have that. We have just a demolition.
Yeah, and my knowledge is limited, but I think where the authority came in was originally in designating it as a historically significant building, and then if one wants to demolish it, you have to wait a year and then make some reasonable attempt to find someone who would like to.
Right, if there's someone out there who wants to move it off the property and preserve it somehow, they would have the ability to do that. So that that 1 year delay is to give someone the opportunity to take a look at it. But my understanding is a lot of people have, I think the town looked at it, and it was just too much money to try and save it.
Yeah, in fact, is he the would-be buyer who purchased it with that idea of, like you said, exploring renovating it or restoring it, but found that it just wasn't feasible?
That's correct. He had an idea that he could, over time, and doing a lot of the work himself maybe, but when he actually got into it and had other people looking at it, it just wasn't feasible.
Oh, your application is straightforward and quite appropriate, meets the standards. I just thought that we would have this kind of a side discussion as a, I mean, it got kind of interested theoretically about the preservation of an historically significant building. Apparently, the only permitting is whether you can demolish it, but there's no effort to, there's no process to preserve.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's kind of a backhand negative way of preserving.
Perhaps if he chose to actually restore it, would there then have been standards, as Michael's alluding to, retaining existing
There's all
features?
kinds of tax advantages to restoring a historical building.
Probably is.
But it's not in a historic district.
No.
No.
There is money available to towns to put towards their historic structures, like the theater up here and the Oddfellows Hall.
Yep.
Things like that. There is money that can come in from different organizations. Not sure for a private residence whether that kind of money is available or not. I've never heard of it being done.
Interestingly, though, the proposed front facade is nearly identical to the existing, right?
It's-
So
it's-
that's just, it was his choice because he wanted.
Right, and I don't want to imply identical, but very similar.
Yeah, okay. And so both the house and the barn were evaluated separately, and both were determined to be unfit for rehabilitation?
The barn, the front part of the barn is going to remain. There's, in the back, there's like a one-story shed attached to the barn. That's gonna come off and then be replaced with an addition.
It's hard to picture, looking at the site plan, that it's hard to envision that any part of the barn is remaining.
If you look at the site plan, see that, so this section of the barn is going to stay. This part is coming off, and that's.
So when I saw that dotted line continue through, I didn't realize that that was
Yeah,
part of.
that's what's going to
Got it,
remain.
okay.
And so it's, this section is here,
Mm.
and then it kind of, so it's just this kind of shed addition. This two-story part is here.
Texture 111 is the worst part of the thing. That's the only part you're saving.
But you're gonna see I think those are locust trees.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
When you're not the owner, they're cool.
Now, I thought you said they were moving it back further from the road?
Yes.
It looks like it's sort of in line the same as it was.
This is,
Oh, that's where it was?
this is the
Okay.
porch and
Okay.
the house, so it's
I
going
thought-
back.
Okay. And was there living space in the barn before?
Yeah.
They're creating an apartment there?
Yes,
So now technically, is it not a two-family?
I'd like to keep
it could be, yes.
The uncommon housing bylaw, they can do that.
Excuse me?
The uncommon housing bylaw, they can do that.
It would be a two-family.
Yeah, the uncommon housing.
Okay. Right, I mean, you've got the land area and everything.
Rentable called the, kind of the in-law bylaw.
Right.
It is a truly rentable apartment. Doesn't have to be used that way, but if it is, it needs to be
Well,
rented.
just in your write-up, you said it was a single-family dwelling, and to me, it isn't.
Well, there's no cooking facility shown in the garage kitchen.
The sink and refrigerator?
Right.
It's connected, so actually it's part and parcel of the structure.
Okay.
And that, the permanent roof and floor makes it part of the house.
That's right.
So they could be either one, it could be a guest suite and just be part of the house.
Okay, thank you.
Any other member of the board have any questions of the applicant? Is there anyone present wishing to speak in favor of this application? And just for the record, thank you for providing a letter from Mr. Gaffney authorizing you to speak on his behalf. We assume that you did, and it was touching that you were able to produce it. Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this application, or any comment on the application in general? There's no positive response to any of those questions. Is there anything further if there's no further questions by any member of the board, then I'll declare the hearing closed and ask for the thoughts of the sense of the board.
So I'm in favor.
So am I.
This reminds me of one other case we had, the only one I can recall, which was the dry cleaners next to the Red Balloon that it belonged, right, that had Kindred Historical, and he had to wait a period of time before he could revise it. That building wasn't so appealing.
Oh, that was the old farmhouse. Yeah, that was
I
original.
don't recall specifically
Where
who
the
the
dry
owner
cleaner
was.
was, that was the.
Yes, exactly, where the dry cleaner
I
was.
think we learned, at least I learned it somewhere.
Cuffy's now? Is it
Me-
Cuffy's now?
No, it was taken down. It's become part of that entire
Nani.
complex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm in the
It's
wrong.
it's turned into food trucks and a shell patio.
Yeah.
Not happening.
Oh, yes, it is. We voted to approve it.
He doesn't have time to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was just here a couple of minutes ago.
Right, but because of the appeals periods, he didn't have enough lead time to get it set up for the summer. So it's not happening this summer.
And what board did you glean that info from?
I ran into Todd Thayer.
Oh. That would explain it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you comply with the open meeting law requirements?
He was looking at my
Joke,
house, so I
joke,
don't, I don't know what I had to comply with.
There is an open meeting law training this week, right?
May 19th. No, it can't be, that's Saturday.
No, it's this Friday, the 18th.
Good for you.
Can we take a vote and let Stephanie,
That's right, I was thinking of presenting it then. I need a motion to adopt findings of fact which satisfy the special permit criteria.
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second?
Mr. Cole. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Then I will prepare findings of fact to comply with the section, the criteria for a special permit is set forth in section 164-44. Now, is there a motion to issue a special permit without conditions?
So moved?
Mr. Cole, Mr. McCarthy, a second. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Do we need anything vis-à-vis the Historic Commission determination that, I mean, it seems like it's automatic, and yet, because they exist independent of us.
It's a good question. That's why I inquired, because I want generally speaking, it has been our policy that we were the last stop before the complete green light. And I'm satisfied from what the applicant has related to us, that the Historic Commission has acted in such a fashion that the timetable is running for demolition, and that there was nothing else that the Historical Commission had to decide or rule upon. So that's why we went into that.
So there'll be no
but-
other rule on it.
No.
And I won't issue, I'll be issuing the demolition permit, so it won't be issued until the time is up.
Okay.
Do they actually issue a certificate, or you just wait for the 365th day from the initial?
I asked them to provide me with the minutes of the original meeting, and then I send an email stating that, and get an answer from the board chairman.
Time is
Yes,
told.
time's up. I just give verification before I issue the demo.
Thank you.
Very well. So we didn't rule,
So the answer to your question, however, is no. We don't feel like we need to attach any special anything.
no, we weren't thinking of it, no. That's why I said special permit. Is any further discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Then the motion carries unanimously. Thank you for
Thank you very much.
coming in. Members of the board, our next meeting is
The 6th of June.
6th of June. And there-
6/6.
there are presently,
6.
7 cases.
Now 7.
Gotta be your own detail.
I hear the town is providing sandwiches and overnight
Did I get that
accommodations.
today?
no, but what I've done is, with your, unless you
Or you want to keep
think
it?
this was not premature, but unnecessary. I took the last 3 items and asked Sandy, our board secretary, to notify those applicants to come in at 8:15.
Oh, you're an optimist.
So,
Always.
What?
they may have to wait, but they won't have to wait a long time.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Is there any that's not of an urgency that asking them to wait would disturb them? I'm particularly thinking of the one involving the Captain Linnell house.
Or is that holding up the transfer?
Yeah, I don't, I have
Well,
no
the
idea.
trouble with that is, in the absence of, I didn't want to judge the substance of any of these. I just counted the numbers, and then I was advised afterwards which players were involved in the application.
Are they in the last 3 or the first 4?
Last one.
They all have players, which is a good thing, so they
But
should
they
all be
also have
prepared.
numbers, right?
Yeah, well, we would do it, and we're doing them sequentially, as we always did.
Right.
So I didn't make it, I was
So I'm just
completely
asking-
arbitrary, Bruce.
No, I'm just asking where that one falls.
That one falls,
Last.
Last.
Is it?
it
Yeah,
is,
Mentions
Okay.
Captain Linnell's last.
it
Just if
is.
they want to come the next week?
And we'll see how
There
late it
one
is, maybe
contentious
they'll
case
wanna.
on there.
All right, but anyway, the proposition was that the last 3 would be entertained no earlier than 8:15.
Absolutely.
If anyone asks out because of the severity of the schedule, then we could deal with that too.
Which one do you believe to be
Secret
contentious?
Fours, they were here in front of you before with a lot of opposition.
Yeah.
That's the property that the new
Oh.
bylaw made,
There wasn't
flood
the
zone.
upland, habitable
Oh,
upland,
yes.
right?
Buildable upland.
And so
brought
they
the
claim,
buildable upland down to almost nothing for the house, there's an existing house on it.
They could
this
come
is
back
not the
this
one
soon?
on Rock
It's a
Harbor
different-
Road,
it's a
is it?
different plan.
Not the one on Rock Harbor Road?
No,
Bob
No,
Skakit,
it's in the Skakit
yeah,
Beach
it's
area.
down in that Skakit Beach
there was a
area.
giant
This is
house,
one-
folks from San Diego, is it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember, I just remember that it was a
Yeah.
large crowd.
The name was familiar.
They're coming back with a stripped down design, smaller,
Yeah, the name, yeah.
not the same application.
I have to recuse on at least the first one.
Um,
Kidding me?
Then, And you can come in at 7:15.
Bill, you won't be here, right? You've got something going
Planning
on?
to be off Cape,
Bill's
If
gonna
I
be off.
understand that Mr. Mulligan will be
Yes.
present.
And Christine will be back.
All right. I have no further business to come. Is there anyone else who has any business to come before the board?
I'd like to ask you a question, but you can go after.
I feel the same.
Do you want to do it publicly, or can we adjourn?
I think we should adjourn.
Very well.
So moved.
And a
Second.
second, Ms. McCartney, all those in favor?
Aye.
And opposed, motion carries unanimously.